Hey, you're watching Vinyl for Miles, your best resource for music, audio gear, and vinyl reviews. Today, we're doing a vinyl update and taking a look at what I've been collecting the past few months. Stick around. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, what we do is audio gear, hi-fi gear, guitar amps, guitar pedals, vinyl, album reviews, anything having to do with music, I'm on top of it. Anything having to do with my favorite hobbies and things that I buy often, I will review it. So I have not done a vinyl update video in almost a year now, for a good reason. I've been focusing mostly on the audio gear end of things, so your Sonos products, your record players, your record protection, vinyl accessories, stuff like that, guitar amps. But I've not been giving you my typical vinyl update of what's been in my collection and my recommendations for you guys when it comes to music. Through reading my comments and feedback from people, I guess you guys do care about what I'm collecting and you do care about my musical suggestions that I give on the channel. So this will be, I think, my fourth update with my collection personally. What I have here is about 3 months worth of records that I've either gotten over the holidays or things that I've collected through subscription services or record hunting. So to kick off this video, we're gonna start off with my favorite vinyl subscription service. It is Gimme Metal Vinyl Club. And I have 3 albums that I have not shared with anybody quite yet I want to show, but I also want to give a plug to them. You can check them out in the description below. Gimme Metal, it gives you 1 metal album a month. They're always limited run special edition pressings, and they're always hand curated, insanely good artists. They don't just pick any metal band, it has to meet their standards, and it's usually not their most popular album, but like their gems. So if you're more of a best of type person and not a greatest hits, like this is definitely your subscription service you should check out. You gotta be a metal fan though, heads up. So I'm gonna start off with my subscription and then we're gonna go into like what I got for Christmas and then other stuff that I've collected over the past 3 months. All right, so going in order with my Gimme Metal vinyl subscription service, this was August. This is YOB. Clearing the Path to Ascend. This is a 2 LP set. And it comes on this really cool transparent gold splatter right here. If you guys are a fan of like Sleep, Electric Wizard, High on Fire, pretty much anything doomy, you're gonna like YOB. But they're actually on the prog spectrum too. So typically one of their releases will be 3 or 4 songs and it's usually over an hour long. So if you like really long, sludgy, droned out guitar riffs, they do some, growling vocals and screaming, but they also sing as well. And the lead singer of this band, his registry is actually pretty high and rough and raspy. So I really dig, it's an original sound. The pressing here, it's on matte finish here, but then also like the gold stuff pops out. I have this in a protective sleeve already, but let me see if I can pop it out for you. Hopefully you can see that. The gold is reflective, same thing on the inside. Really cool artwork on the inside with the lyrics here, and anything in gold is gonna pop. Okay, moving on. This was October's Gimme Metal vinyl subscription. This is Power Trip, Nightmare Logic. This is their first album, I believe. And unfortunately, Riley Gale, their lead singer, passed away last year. And there's a cool hype sticker on here that says Rest in Power, Riley Gale, 1986 to 2020, in loving memory. And the proceeds from the sale, a limited edition, will go directly to Riley's family and his foundation. So that's a really sad thing that he passed away. But if you're not familiar with Power Trip, it's thrash metal. It's like true thrash metal. This is some really good stuff here. Younger dudes who put this band together. This was their first release, and this comes on this like toxic swirl. I don't know what they're calling it. Nuclear green. I was close, not toxic swirl, it's nuclear green. So I mean, it's like a light, dark, kind of a cream green all mixed together. And this is also from Record Storage Solution. This is their clear sleeves, their clear inner sleeves. The album also comes with a poster. So this is not a gatefold album, but it does come with this really cool Power Trip poster, very 1980s fashion. If you're familiar with 1980s thrash metal, they usually had those like picture collages on the inside of their albums. I even have a few Dio albums that have that too. So this was October, Power Trip, great album, Nightmare Logic, go get it. This is on a matte finish and then Power Trip is in gloss, so it kind of has that 3D effect too. That's the thing about everything I've gotten from Gimme Metal has been special edition. Like even the pressing itself, the outer sleeve, they put some kind of cool flair to it. So this was November's, and this is Ghost, their debut album, Opus Eponymous, or Eponymous? Eponymous? Opus Eponymous, which just means self-work in Latin. So if you'll notice, this is the only copy I've seen that has a reflective Ghost logo. This has the same print on the inside as other gatefolds. So the only thing unique about this edition of it is that logo is reflective, which is super cool. This is gonna be on like a marble splatter. So here's the actual pressing itself. Really cool marble. And yeah, same thing here. The Ghost logo is a little metallic on the label itself, which is cool. If you have not listened to this, a lot of Ghost fans say this is actually their best album. This is the doomiest album they ever put out, very Black Sabbath influenced, and probably the most satanic of all of their albums. So if you don't own a copy of this, this is the Rise pressing. It sounds really good. I have 2 copies of this. I have the original one that came out in 2010. I actually got into them when they came out way back when, but it sounds pretty trashy, to be honest. The black version that I have sounds nothing like this. There's a lot more clarity and dynamics, so really stoked I was able to pick this one up as well. So Ghost, Opus Eponymous, check this one out. I do have one more record on the way from Gimme Metal, and it's Electric Wizard's second album. That should be here in January, and I will be sure to give you guys an update on that. All right, moving on. Now I'm gonna go into stuff that I either picked up over the holidays or stuff that was delivered to me in the past 3 months. So here are some things I got for the holidays. This is Quicksand. This is their album Interiors. Quicksand was a post-hardcore band from the 1990s. They pretty much branched off into some other super groups. The bass player I know is playing for Deftones and produced Deftones. The lead singer has produced like countless bands, and he's been, put his imprint on pretty much a ton of post-hardcore bands. But they got back together, I think, in 2018 and put this album out. Let me double check the year on that. 2017, I was off by 1 year. This came out in 2017. It's the original band, and it is killer. Really good guitar riffs on here, great dynamic vocals, and really cool bass parts too as well. This is all matte, so this whole album is on this really cool matte paper. It's just standard black, so there's nothing too crazy about this one. Here's what the inner sleeve looks like. You got the lyrics and a cool picture here, and then, like I said, it's just on black. This is on Epitaph Records. To go along with this, one of the coolest albums that came out in 2021 was this album here, Quicksand Distant Populations. This came out earlier in the year. I pre-ordered this in August. I pre-ordered it. This showed up on my doorstep the day after Christmas. So this wasn't really a Christmas present from anybody, but this is something I pre-ordered that got delayed over and over again. The only version that was out was the black version. What I have here is like Purple Fog, I think they called it, which is freaking killer. It's transparent and has these like purple swirls in it. It goes along with the album artwork really well. And then the inside inner sleeve was printed. It's all matte, just like the other album. It has some really cool artwork on it. So if you're into post-hardcore music, definitely check this out. Between the 2 albums, I like Distant Populations a little more. There's something about the guitar tone on this album that really kind of drew me in. It's very thick, heavy sounding, arena sounding type riffs on this album. So Distant Populations, Interiors by Quicksand. This next album is from one of my favorite prog bands, Leprous. This is Aphelion. This came out, I believe, in September. So this has been out for a little while. It took me, for some reason, over a month to get my pre-order. So I actually got this around September. I was actually really sick with COVID, and I ended up listening to this album over and over again. Amazing. So the album that they put out 2 or 3 years ago was called Pitfalls, and that's when Leprous took a little turn away from the really heavy stuff. Pitfalls has no screaming, no really heavy 8-string type guitar, riffs on it. This is a great mixture of some of their old stuff and their new stuff. It's very orchestral, so there's a lot of violins and cellos and stuff on here in a very uncomfortable manner. The opening track has a whole orchestra playing with them, and it's just very eerie and a lot of unsettling type tones on it. But then at the same time, there's some really beautiful like operatic type singing on it. And the very last track, they bring back some of the heavier metal growls, which I thought was pretty cool. So Leprous Aphelion, this is on 180 gram black. It does have the upgraded inner sleeves that have like the plastic on the inside, so it's not just paper. And it sounds really good. So I was blown away by it. Kscope, great job on this. Pretty much every album I've gotten from Kscope I've been happy with so far. So, all right, so the next 3 albums I got from my mother's boyfriend. So shout out to Gary if you're watching. This is Green Carnation. This is the 15th anniversary edition of their album, The Acoustic Verses. So think Pineapple Thief, Porcupine Tree. There's even some like Radiohead tones on this album. But this is all like piano and acoustic guitar, so this is an acoustic album. Green Carnation does have some heavier stuff, so if you want to check out their back catalog, it's just a really cool prog alt rock band. So yeah, this one, there's only 500 copies of it. It's the first time it's been pressed on vinyl. Really clean album, and it does have this really cool etching on side D. So side D has a score on it of music, so there's some music notes, and then it says acoustic verses. I always like it when a band puts out a double LP and then they do some cool etching or some kind of like hologram. Really makes you feel like you got something special versus the CD. This also came with a 3mm poly sleeve. It's like really thick, which I really like it when labels do that. Another one from Gary here. This is Unleash the Archers. This is a female fronted metal band. I had not actually listened to this yet, so I need to put this on the turntable and give it a listen, but this was actually to my wife and I. Really cool album cover on here, nice painting. This is a double LP 180 gram black. So if you guys know Unleash the Archers and you've heard this album, leave a comment below, let me know what you think. But yeah, I look forward to listening to it. Really cool album artwork on here. Last one I got from Gary. Shout out to Gary again. This one is Blue Oyster Cult, and this is Origins of Unknown. So if you're familiar with Blue Oyster Cult, this has Burnin' For You, which is one of their biggest hits aside from like Fear the Reaper. This comes on blue. It's 180 gram audiophile special. Here it is, translucent blue. I have listened to this. It sounds great. Very low surface noise. And then on the inside, you get this really creepy Oyster Cult face on here, and then it shows some of their other albums that were remastered recently. So yeah, great pickup here. Great album. It's a classic. If you're into classic prog, check this out. This album is Biffy Clyro, The Myth of the Happily Ever After. So they put out an album a year ago called A Celebration of Endings, and they actually did this amazing live stream doing the whole album front to back live. This includes that live stream on CD, so you get the live version of that. And this is just a complimentary album to the one that came out last year. It is a full production album, and it is a full album. But Biffy Clyro, they tend to put 2 albums out in a row usually, one after the other. And this comes on red, I believe, special edition red. Matte finish on all the inside stuff. Really cool artwork. Kind of like OK Computer, Radiohead type stuff. So here it is, translucent red. And it sounds really good. I've already listened to it. Very happy with this copy. If you're a fan of, alternative hard rock, if you like Nirvana, that type of music, you're gonna like this. Speaking of Nirvana, I picked up Nevermind. I did not pick up the 30th anniversary. If you guys have been watching what's been going on with Nirvana's 30th anniversary, they basically oversold the single LP version of it and been like pushing to sell the box set version, blah, blah, blah. So there's been a lot of press revolving around this album. I have a good friend who was trying to find the highest quality pressing possible, and he did. He told me to look for the Bernie Grundman pressings. I found one. This is actually produced by Palace USA, 180 gram. I think this came out like in 2018 or 2016. But the copy I found was only 20 bucks. I really lucked out and got it cheap. And the way that you can figure out your Bernie Grundman pressing is you can go onto Discogs and view all the different ones that are the actual masters that he produced. But there should be a BG somewhere written on the inner part of your record, like where the runout label is. It's handwritten BG. This copy is a repress of that. Comes on this wax paper, so this is not a cheap paper sleeve. And it's just 180 gram black here, but it is unbelievably clean. Like probably one of the best albums, pressing quality wise, I have in my collection right now. I know that this album is probably overhyped at this point. You've probably seen a bunch of videos on this, but if you're gonna pick up one, try to find a good pressing. Skip the 30th anniversary. I've heard that that pressing is subpar compared to these older ones. But yeah, I'm really stoked that I picked this up. And I actually saw a Nirvana cover band over the summer, which kind of got me back into them. So yeah, never mind Bernie Grundman pressing. Try to find those. Shout out to James for hooking me up and telling me where to find these as well. So if you're watching, James, thanks. This next one's my Christmas pickup I got this year. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, Christmas Eve and Other Stories. I've seen these guys a few times live. Huge fan of their metal versions of these Christmas songs. So there's definitely some queso on this. There's some cheesy songs. That's kind of comes with the territory of Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Some songs are really cool, orchestral, you know, like neoclassical type inspired, and then other songs are just kind of really weird and like cheesy Christmas stories. Anyways, this was picked up from Target. This is the first time this has been produced on vinyl, and my copy, unfortunately, was not very clean. There's a lot of noise on it, audible noise and distortion. It is on red in Target fashion. I picked this up when I was Christmas shopping. I saw it, I'm like, hey. I actually took back my first copy because it was very noisy, and second copy sounded exactly the same. So whatever pressing plate they used has a lot of distortion. So just be careful if you're gonna pick this up. Maybe don't go for the Target exclusive. I'm hoping that, you know, Walmart has some, and there's other independent record stores that may have black. But yeah, this version for me, at least in this batch I got, super noisy, a little bummed about it. So aside from Trans-Siberian Orchestra, I did pick up 2 more Christmas albums this year. I got the Home Alone Christmas. This is basically like the best of the 2 first Home Alone movies. Hideous Christmas splatter. Kind of looks like barf. So, you know, since Christmas just passed, every year I try to pick up at least 1 or 2 Christmas albums. So this year I picked up 3 of them. And then I also got this album. This is New Found Glory's all original December Is Here Christmas album. So this is all original punk pop songs from New Found Glory. I actually really liked it. It's about 30 minutes long. So we were playing this throughout the season, and it comes on, I got it on pink. They sold out of the other pressings of it, so I was able to snag it on pink. So I will be busting this out once a year to put up a more upbeat pop punk Christmas tune. And this was on Hopeless Records. Yeah, New Found Glory. Christmas has already passed, but next year if you're looking for an album, maybe pick it up cheap now. So hold on to it for a year and then put it on next December when December is here. All right. Speaking of December, this was a gift to me from my 5-year-old son. He picked this out for me. The Pineapple Thief, Someone Here Is Missing. So this album came out in 2010. I have a lot of Pineapple Thief albums. I have a lot of their Blu-rays. They're one of my favorite bands. Really great prog alternative rock band. This was before Gavin Harrison joined their band. So if you've listened to Pineapple Thief since they've gained a lot of popularity recently, they have, you know, Porcupine Tree's drummer, Gavin Harrison, is one of the best drummers in the world right now, in my opinion. One of the most dynamic drummers, at least. And he added, like, he took their sound from like 10 and brought it up to like 15. It's insane. But this is a great album. This has the song Nothing at Best that they tend to play live a lot. And yeah, just a great mix overall. Bruce Sword, who's the lead singer, he's an amazing songwriter, and you know, his compositions that he put together are just so dynamic and so cool. So I'm still missing 2 albums from them to finish my collection. So I got this one, and again, my son picked it out for me. It's on 180 gram black. Nothing too crazy that comes with this one. So I'm gonna keep it in the package. The last album that I got is SpiritBox Eternal Blue. So this version I got is die cut. So I have it in a case right now because I'm trying to protect it. And this is a single LP. Here's blue. It's not 180 gram. And I have yet to listen to this. So I actually need to put it on the turntable and report back as to how it sounds. Packaging wise though, it's just like unreal. Like some of the coolest packaging I've had in a long time. I'm using resealable sleeves on this. So I'm just gonna pull out. Here's the book that came with it. So it's like a high quality tour book that you would get from a band. There's like these translucent pages on the inside that you can see through. They're kind of like wax paper. Then you have all the lyrics, these really high res graphics that come with it. Like super cool. It's some of the most detail I've seen put into an album in a long time. So you can see here it says Eternal Blue, and that's actually like see-through, like wax paper, really cool. There's a bunch of QR codes on the inside of this. which I don't know what they do. Why don't we scan one? That QR code opens up, just their website, spiritboxband.com. So, looks like somebody in the band created a QR code and just stuck it on the inside of here. Yeah, really cool. And just so you can see for reference, if you look here, like the die cut, it's pretty fragile. So if you do get this copy, put it in a protective sleeve, which is what I'm going to do right now. All right, so that's all of the records I've gotten the past few months. I do have some pre-orders that were delayed that I've been waiting for a long time. One of those is Mastodon, Hushed and Grim. Literally, as I was just filming this video, my doorbell rang and my Mastodon album showed up. So this is the Mastodon album, Hushed and Grim. This is the special slip cover that they did. This is a lithograph print. Looks like there's gold on it. Looks like I got copy 115 out of 500. Then you just have the standard pressing on the inside. It's the gatefold version. And this comes on clear. There's the back of the album. Really great attention to detail. And it also comes with this here, which this is number 2, 115 out of 500. And this is the Revolver magazine that came out, I think, in October with Mastodon on the cover. So I think this whole magazine was dedicated to the Black Album from Metallica. It's like a milky clear. So I actually was not expecting this, but it just showed up right after I filmed this video. So here it is. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments below. I've had a few people ask me to do more of these updates. If you guys find value in them and you like my musical opinion and some of the stuff I'm recommending on my channel that you check out, let me know below, because that helps me understand what you like, what you don't like, and I'll start making more videos like this. So if you haven't checked out my amp review I just did of this amp down here, which you probably can't see, this is the Jet City 2.x. I just did an amp review of that. I also just picked up this, which is the Synergy SYN30 with the Diesel Herbert module. I'm gonna be doing a review of this as well. So if you're a guitar player, you wanna nerd out on some guitar gear, I'm gonna be doing more guitar gear videos this coming year. I'm gonna be doing more audiophile turntable reviews. 2022, I am just going to diversify my channel. Like the video if you dug it. And until next time, I am Michael. Thanks for watching.